Hello everyone, this is Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, and keep coming back. Spread the word. I post a new video here every day. Check out some of the archives also while you're here. All right, Bitcoin is in the 790s still. It's been pretty steady. It dips into the 780s sometimes, but it's been the high 700s for a while. That's positive. Ethereum Classic and Dash have been up lately. Can't explain the Dash. I bet they got some new project in the works, maybe somewhat. Please inform me. I don't know. Ethereum Classic I can explain because Ethereum has been down a lot today. So once again, I assume some of the Ethereum money is going into the Ethereum Classic. That's just my guess. Hey, Venshin MGTOW, it was suggested that he should be a guest on my show. Of course he should be. How could I forget? I really liked the comments you guys added yesterday. Please always add comments. I love to read them. And someone suggested that Venshin MGTOW be a guest on the show, and I would love it. It would be an honor and a privilege. So when I get the guest function operational, I will ask Venshin MGTOW to be a guest because he is entertaining and he is very knowledgeable on many subjects, many manly subjects. Also, Tone Vase, wow, obviously he'll be a guest too on my show. So once we are operational that way. And by the way, going back to yesterday again, I was talking about places videos I watch. A site that I've been going to for a long time is the Drudge Report. You get some good links there, and they're not all conservative links. He links to liberal publications and I mean, he also gets into sports and stuff, which I think is a waste. So, hey, it's not perfect, but he does have some really good links there. And it's usually pretty up to date. And I know that's common knowledge for many people, but not everyone knows about the Drudge Report. All right, going back to Tone Vase, he got into a debate with Ned Scott and Dan Larimer about Steemit. Again, we've been through this many times. We've heard both their opinion, the Steemit guy's opinions and Tone's opinions. I will link to it. There's a Steemit post about it, and there's a Twitter post. They use two different sources, so one is a longer video than the other, or one's longer audio than the other. Make up your mind. You can link to whatever one you want to. But while we're on Steemit, and while we're talking about news, I believe, and I have said this before, don't buy Steem, first of all. I don't believe in buying Steem, but I do. Through the months, what's become clear to me is that there's no harm in posting on Steemit, and that Steemit has potential. It really does, and it should be we as a community, or the guys behind it, should figure out a way where it can incentivize people to fight the so-called real fake news or whatever. You hear so much. There's so much propaganda out there, like saying this is fake. We're gonna, certain media platforms are now banning certain or trying to ban certain news agencies because they say they're fake. All right, so Steemit is a social media platform. It should try to market itself as like a place where anything goes. You could post there's no fake news. Use your head to decide what's fake news. Wow, my hair looks freaking crazy today, doesn't it? Wow. Even I have to say that. Anyway, and that's real news. but seriously, let your cryptocurrency do the talking in deciding what is real and what is fake. And I think Steemit or maybe a Bitcoin platform can take advantage of this problem. There's a problem out there because you've got some social media platforms are starting to ban what might really be real news, but what people call fake news. All these people saying stuff is fake that's real. We're just losing perspective here, and I think it's an opportunity for cryptocurrency. I think that's a good way of summing up everything that I just said, and this goes back to one of my prediction shows where I said there'd be some unique social media concept combined with Bitcoin. Maybe this is it. Bitcoin or Steemit can be used to let the people decide what's real. All right, enough of that. Anyway, and also with the Steemit and its potential, dudes, you guys got to see what's going on in Africa. Again, let that community in South Africa give you some tips here. They like it. While we're talking about other countries, I'll link to an article below about Chinese rush to open up dollar forex accounts. More capital controls coming. Hey, that's good news for Bitcoin. If more capital controls are coming to China, you can check out the article yourself. I want to again refer back to yesterday's video. I guess I'll have to link to it. And I was talking about the current financial system and how I think it will continue on for a very long time. Like, I don't think Bitcoin will become the system of the world or gold will become the system of the world. I think we live under a system where governments issue fiat currency. All right? And that will continue to exist. And most likely the dollar will continue to be at the top rung there, okay? I don't think the dollar is ever going away in this century. I'm trying to kind of expand upon what I was trying to say yesterday. But this doesn't mean that paper money will still be physically out there. Governments may use blockchains that they just control, that are centralized, in fact. So that's a continuation of the system, but using new technology. At the same time, Bitcoin will grow larger and larger, and all of the independent cryptocurrencies will grow larger and larger, and people will be able to choose. But most people are going to stick with the government. They just believe everything the government says. And so that inflationary system will continue to exist for the rest of this century, I believe. Just because people are stupid and people like to stick with old things, and governments will continue to exist for the rest of this century. But smart people will have the deflationary option in Bitcoin. And also, Bitcoin will serve many other purposes. As a store of value, and as to send money across borders, to infiltrate some of these governments, to get into some of these countries. You're going to need Bitcoin. But again, people get stuck in their ways. But I'm not saying, I just want people to understand that I am 100% behind Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. It's just like with the internet, you still have email. Why wouldn't anybody use email? Well, people still use mail. People use government mail still, U.S. Postal Service, despite how much better email is. It's free. I mean, it's so much better, but there's just always going to be people who use the old thing, who are used to the old way, and will be stuck in that way. Now, it's not exactly comparable to when the internet came out, because there is no competing force. The internet was just a totally new thing. I mean, what was the pre-internet that the internet took the place of? Nothing. So Bitcoin, on many levels, is a totally new thing, but it is trying to take the place of inflationary fiat money, and it will not fully do that in this century, at least, for all the reasons that I just went into. So, and again, Airbnb exists. It's better than hotels, but hotels are going to continue to exist. And on that note, I'm going to link to a recent article that talks about what has happened to New York City by them banning, basically a ban on Airbnbs, that now like horrible hotels that are like dirty, bed bug infested hotels are benefiting. And just, it's sad. It's unfortunate. Anyway, and that's just what happens when the government tries to interfere in these type of things. But Airbnb people will find ways to do it in New York City, I'm sure eventually. And hotels will continue to exist in New York City also. They don't have to worry. I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister. I will talk to you later.